My name is Eugene Fryer. I'm the director of Esports and Gaming. Good to see you again too. And I want to just kind of explain an overview of our program. Why I love that this event in general is happening is kind of a big focus of our program too. People think about esports and they think about gaming and they think about just what you're doing when you're playing a game, but it really is more than that. And that's how we've built our program to be. So our program is based on what we call the 4 C's: competition, creation, community, and career. Competition is what you think of when you hear of esports. The competitive teams that practice, that compete, that do film review, all that kind of stuff. We currently have 3 competitive teams in our program: Overwatch, Smash Ultimate, and FIFA. Um, it's a little different right now because of some COVID restrictions that we have, but we do have a dedicated space on campus for them. We have 13 high-end gaming PCs. We have another room set up with monitors to hook up switches and stuff. And our teams, like I said, they practice in that space. We do VOD reviews, film reviews, watching YouTube videos, watching recordings of our own footage, breaking down what did we do wrong, how can we improve, looking at some pros play, what are they doing well that we can adapt for our program. We started before COVID hit as well, doing team workouts with one of our team, like legit in the fitness center workouts. The director of our fitness center made a routine based on uh, core strength, flexibility, and just increasing cardiovascular strength again. Not again, but as well. Sorry. What we work off for that idea is like a healthy body, healthy brain. Sometimes when we're practicing, or sometimes in matches and competitions, it can go on for a very long time. So we want to make sure that our students are not only sitting correctly, have good posture, and have the strength to maintain it, but they're able to keep their mind actively engaged in what they're doing, so not making those mental mistakes that could lead to the team losing. We also do leadership development with our competitive team, with our with our competitive teams. We do this kind of throughout the program, but we do it with our competitive teams as well. But Gallup's Clifton Strengths, the top 5 strengths thing that you can do, it used to be called Strengths Quest, Strengths Finder. We do that, and then I do some one-on-one coaching with our students on that, and then we work with professional coaches for in-game improvement with the Esports Performance Academy. So that kind of in a nutshell is the competitive part of our program, competition. For creation, we have 2 main arms to this. We have a stream team for Twitch, and we have a production team for YouTube. Um, I should have said this at the beginning. I'm sorry. This is kind of the through line that goes over the whole program. How we kind of differentiate esports gaming and the different parts of our program. Esports is the NBA. That's in the stadium. That's high level. That's the highest level of competition. Gaming is playing pickup basketball down the street with your friends. Pop culture is what you talk about when you're walking to that pickup game, or driving to that NBA game. And we try to incorporate all that into our program. So the creation part is where we start to get a bit more into the gaming and kind of in the pop culture. So for our production team that we have on YouTube, we're trying to create content focused on our community members to help show off who we are and what we're about. So it's not even always about esports or gaming with that. We've talked about, we did a series last semester, Question Time, where we got people ranging from Ardena students to some first semester freshmen that were in our program, talking about what's your favorite anime of all time, what got you into gaming, what's your biggest gaming memory, gaming experience of all time, and just getting to bring people together through that shared experience that is gaming, that is pop culture. But and this is where we like to say we differentiate ourselves from a lot of programs. We look at who's actually creating that content, and that's giving them an opportunity to expand upon portfolios they have, to start building portfolios for future employment, for graphic design, for editing, all that kind of stuff. So it's not just about the video that people see at the end of the product, it's about the process that goes into creating that video. We're piloting right now a new series, more short form series, about 90 to 120-second long videos called Top 3, where student leaders from our program and members of our community talk about their top 3 of any given topic. The first episode that we have, the kind of proof of concept episode that my students are working on, is top 3 anime. So one of our community managers pitched the idea, structured it out, and we recorded and edited. It ended up being about a minute and a half for her video, but her going through her top 3 anime of all time and why they are her favorite. Um, why we like doing stuff like this with our production team is it allows, even though we're a small campus of around 2,000 students, it allows students that are engaging with the media to learn more about their classmates that you might not know sitting in class or sitting in a Zoom call with somebody. So learning that Elspeth, one of our community managers, loves Berserk and that's her favorite anime. If a student loves Berserk too, that might be like, oh, that's a connection that I have with somebody else on my campus or in my program. And we think those kind of connections are tremendously meaningful. I've worked in higher education since the early 2000s, and I've said this to students throughout my entire career. When you look back on your college experience 5, 10, 15 years after you graduate, you think about the experiences you have with your classmates, with teachers that you get to work with. It's a lot of times it can be connected to the classroom, but it's a lot of time the out of class experiences where that bonding happens and those connections happen. So we try to highlight that. We try to create more opportunities to highlight that through our production team. And then our stream team, we started that last semester. We currently have 7 streamers on our Twitch page streaming throughout the week. We're doing around 15 to 20 hours of content each week. And again, this is where it's less esports. Even though my hoodie says esports, it's less esports and it's more gaming. One of the big things I talk to them about is it's okay if they stream Overwatch or Valorant or different games that you can play in comp, but really people that want to watch that kind of content already have streamers that they watch. So what can we do to make community events out of our stream team our stream team activity? So a good example of that is Michael, one of our streamers. He's having a Phasmophobia night next week. He has a VR hookup, as well as Caleb, another one of our streamers, has a VR hookup as well. The two of them are going to be playing with maybe just 2 community members, and Michael has promised there will be a lot of screaming on his stream because he gets scared very easily, and he's not done a lot of VR before. So trying to create fun stuff like that students can take part in by hopping in a game, by engaging in Twitch chat, or by laughing at the clips that we have later on. So the stream team and the production team are 2 different opportunities that we have for students through our creation portion of our program. Community is probably the biggest part of our program and the one that we're most rapidly kind of expanding. Another thing that we talk about on our campus a lot is that everybody's a geek about something, because being a geek isn't about what you love, it's about how you love it. I've talked to a lot of people, not just students, but a lot of people throughout my career that think they are not geeks because they're not into stereotypically geeky things like comics or video games or different stuff like that. Um, I'll give you this example. I'm very much into traditionally geeky things. I grew up reading comics. I played video games back from the Commodore 64 days all the way up to I'm going to be running some Mythic Plus tonight in World of Warcraft with my wife and my buddies. I love traditionally geeky stuff so much that I was up at 2 o'clock this morning watching the finale for WandaVision. I'm quite sleepy, but it was worth it. It was a good ending. But we talk about everybody's a geek about something. Being a geek isn't about what you love, it's about how you love it. So the community part of our program, we try to let people fly their geek flag. Learn who has these similar interests to you and how can we connect over that for laughing, joking, sharing memes in Discord, whatever it might be. If there's anybody out there thinking when I'm saying this that you're not a geek, I would challenge you on that and say that there's what we call the grocery store litmus test. What 1, 2, or 10 or 20 things would you have to be standing by yourself in a grocery store? Pre-COVID time, I guess, is maybe a better example for this. But standing by yourself in a grocery store and then hear 2 absolute strangers behind you talking about that makes you turn around and engage with them. Whatever that is, that's what you geek out about. And I agree with what Matthew's saying in the chat as well. That was a very transformative experience for me. 2 big ones where it kind of clicked when I was early on in my professional career. I used to work in residence life at my previous university, and I saw that at one of the buildings, or there's 2 buildings. One of them, the lobbies would fill up on Wednesday nights with people playing Magic the Gathering. The other one, the lobby would fill up on Monday night for Monday Night Football. And if you talk to the students from each of those groups, and keep in mind this was early 2002, but if you talk to students from each of those groups, they would see the other group as doing something different. But realistically, they're all wanting somebody to win, somebody to lose. They're all cheering on a team. They're all freaking out and geeking out over big plays that happen. It's the same experience. It's just in different mediums. So we try to get rid of the gatekeeping that exists in geek culture and in people's passions, and just say, like, we're all the same. How can we share in this like shared passion? And maybe you get to learn about somebody else's passion, or maybe you get to learn more about something that you're already passionate about. So yeah, that everybody's a geek about something. Under the community part of our program, we have some online engagements that are happening right now. We were doing in-person events, obviously, before COVID hit. We just got the new guidelines for COVID events today, so we're planning some of those already. But we have several student organizations under the umbrella of our department, in addition to community managers that work for the department that host events. So the 3 main orgs that we have right now under our department are the Wesleyan Adventurers Guild, Dungeons and Dragons tabletop role-playing group, Tex West FGC for the fighting game community, and the Wesleyan Anime Club. That is our newest club. They started in the past couple of weeks. And it's all about, again, how can we bring people together and share in that common passion. But where it goes to the next level is how can we build into what the last C is, and I'll talk about that in a second. Um, so yeah, through our student organizations, through our employment opportunities in the office as well, we just try to build community and let people connect over that. That's a big thing that our vice president for student affairs is passionate about as well. Dr. Hall is a big comic book fan, and he loves getting to come by our esports areas and talk to students about the Flash and talk to students about Superman and Batman. That's the kind of stuff that he loves. That kind of thing goes a long way in allowing connections to happen faster, connections with people that maybe you otherwise wouldn't think you had a connection with. So again, we just try to do that as much as we can. Um, and the last C, so competition, creation, community, and the last C is career, and that's what kind of wraps it all together. So I talk to students in our program all the time about this, but if 5 years after you leave Texas Wesleyan, or if 10 years after you leave Texas Wesleyan, all you have to look back on is that was cool, I really enjoyed that, then I have failed you and the program doesn't work. It should be cool, it should be enjoyable, but it should also be, and I learned how to do this, or I got a chance to flex these skills more, or learn how to refine these skills, or I got to make these connections. Because ultimately, the goal is for you as a member of the program to have an experience where you learn, and after college, you have a successful career. So to that end, we have some exciting things that we're working on, some things already in place and some that we're working on. We have a career prep series that we've been doing, bringing in people specifically from the esports industry so far, but to talk to our students about networking and professionalism. Some fields don't have the same level of standard professionalism, um, but how can you be as professional as possible, regardless of what field you're in, or regardless of what others are doing around you. Those have been mostly through Discord because a lot of that started once COVID hit, but we're hoping to do those in person after COVID as well. We're also working with Team Envy, Mavs Gaming, and the Esports Stadium in Arlington to build out experiential learning opportunities for students. Um, Idea being with that, the streamers we have that I mentioned on our stream team, how can we get them to connect with the professional streamers that work for some of the DFW pro orgs and learn to increase their skills for the stream team, but also learn some transferable skills that will help them for whatever field they want to get into after college. Like one of the big ones we're talking about right now with some of the pro orgs is how to build a brand. How do you as a streamer build a brand so you can promote your stream and you can have this thing that your identity is based on and that you can use to attract new viewers? And how can that work for you as a teacher after you graduate from college? How can that work for you if you go into the finance sector? How can building your own personal brand help set you apart from people you're applying for jobs against? So it's stuff that is relevant to what's happening in our esports program, but the hope is that it's going to be transferable to after as well. We're also working, I know I mentioned the Esports Stadium in Arlington as well. We're working with them right now on what we think will be a very, very exciting initiative for students to take part in. But a lot of times when you see esports on the high school and collegiate level, it's competition, competition, competition. Uh, we are very like-minded with the people in charge of the stadium, and we want to focus on education as well. So what could we do to bring college students from different universities together to engage in learning about the opportunities that you have in the esports space, but that aren't in game? So if you think about if you're on a competitive team, or if you're on a stream team, if you're in a student organization, communication, for example, is going to be important for all three of those roles. It might look different in the three of those roles, but communication is going to be important in all three of those roles. Well, how can we get maybe some professional esports people or some successful collegiate esports people coming in and talking about how to navigate conflict or how to have difficult conversations on a competitive esports team? That's giving, especially if it's a college student presenting that's giving the college student the chance to present, on a big stage, if we were able to host it at the stadium, which the plan is currently, and to present to a wide variety of people, not just on their own campus, but about a thing that they love, and other students in different programs can come and learn from that as well. So again, the goal being, what are the takeaways from after this? Like for you to be able to say on your resume, or in an interview down the road, I helped build this process on my campus. I helped do these things for my program. I helped lead this part of a regional convention. but having it be through an area that you love, like esports gaming, hitting on the pop culture stuff as well. Another kind of transformative thing, and I'll get back to the anime club too, because we have some career stuff with that that we're working on. Another kind of transformative experience for me also was earlier on in my career at my previous institution. There was a faculty member, a literature teacher, that taught a class on the literature of Harry Potter. Now, it wasn't about like who's your favorite character. It's about like, no, here's how the story is structured. Here is how the beats that go through it. Here are literary devices that are used throughout these different books. And she hosted an event on our campus where she had 50 or 60 students attending the event and talking about, again, not like the surface level fun stuff of Harry Potter, but like in the bones of the story and how everything was made. And it really, really like flipped a switch in my head of, I don't know if these exact students would be here if this event was, let's just talk about story structure and literary devices. They came here because they love Harry Potter, but they're also learning things that maybe they otherwise wouldn't have been open to, at least on this night, if the Harry Potter piece wasn't there. So to that end, and specifically back to the anime club, one thing that the officers and I have talked a lot about is Funimation is down the street. So yeah, we're doing stuff where we're getting to connect with students on campus and we're getting to talk about anime, sharing our love for the new amazing different seasons of anime that have come out over the past year, and that's awesome and that's meaningful. But what's the next level? Can we connect with Funimation, bring some of their voice actors to our campus to talk to our students, to maybe just geek out, but also here's how I got into voice acting. Here's what I wish I would have known when I was in college, because we have students on our campus that might want to do that for a career. We have students on campus that might not know that that realistically exists as a possibility for a career. But either side that you're on for that, that could be a fun, meaningful experience. So the next time you're watching an anime, you might hear the voice of somebody that you got to have a sit down conversation with at one of those kind of career prep educational events. So again, it really is about having fun, but it has to have that extra layer on top of it for how we approach it of what's the value add, like what's the additional like takeaway from this. And that was something that my boss and I had a discussion about back in the summer of 2017 when we first started creating the program. Of this is never going to just be about people sitting in front of screens playing games. So that's going to be a part of it, a big part of it throughout, but it's never just about that. Another thing that we were really big on early on is our program is not just for the top 1% of players for these specific games. It's about, do you love this? Do you want to learn more about this as an industry? Do you want to share in your passions with other people? Well, let's find a way to make it happen. My students and the students in the program would tell you, I say a lot, I want people that want to be here. And it doesn't matter if you're a hardcore gamer or if you don't game at all. Our Instagram manager is on a scholarship to manage our Instagram, and she doesn't play video games. She likes social media and she likes bringing people together. So it's not just you have to check these boxes to be involved on any level in our program. We have two content producers that are on scholarship as well that are helping to edit some of our videos. Our Twitter manager is on scholarship. We have opportunities for people so they can be a part of something and again get to flex their skills, learn a little bit, get some professional development, but also do what they enjoy in a fun environment that's going to help them graduate. So really, in a nutshell, that's what the program is. It's again based on competition, competition creation, community, and career. Uh, we're interested in talking to anybody about the program. Uh, we're big believers that community is the most important part of what we do. And if you're interested in learning more about it or asking questions, I've missed some of the questions I'm going to go through in chat for a second, but like in learning more about it or asking questions, we're always open to connect. You can hit us up on social media, TXWES_esports, and that's for Instagram and for Twitter. You can get our Discord information from there as well. Um, we love geeking out with new people. We love trying new things. Our program is very, very student driven. I'm involved in all parts of it, but I tell our students all the time too, I'm not the target audience for this. Y'all are. So what do y'all want to do? It doesn't matter if I think it's cool or if I think it'll be a good opportunity if y'all don't think it is. So what do y'all want to do? Um, so kind of in a nutshell, well, in a 20-ish minute nutshell, that's our program and kind of that's what we're about. So I don't know if anybody has any questions before we go on. I'm gonna kind of scroll through the questions too, but
And you can definitely unmute yourself and turn on your camera if you want to ask a question as face to face as we can.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna be here while Angel's talking, so I'll go through and answer some questions in the chat. And if people do have questions later on, I'm happy to talk. So thank y'all very much. I'm gonna kick it over to Angel. Go ahead and take it away, man.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you, Eugene. So Eugene talked about esports and kind of what that has to offer. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about our academics, next steps, how to apply to Texas Wesleyan, cost of Texas Wesleyan, and things like that, because that is a huge part. Again, my name is Angel Rodriguez. I do work in the Office of Admissions, so I am an enrollment counselor. I would be your first point of contact as far as like knowing what classes to take here, knowing what classes to take at your community college level as well to make sure you're taking the right classes. So I'm here every step of the way. All right, so let's get on with academics. So no matter what you're thinking about studying at Texas Wesleyan, we're going to have small class sizes and professors who know you by name. That's just what we are about at Texas Wesleyan. In our book, smaller is smarter. And our majors are divided between 3 different schools. We have the School of Arts and Sciences, the School of Business Administration, and the School of Education. Now, I want to dive a little bit deeper into each of these schools and give you some more info on those. So we'll start out with the School of Arts and Sciences. It is our largest school. So on the screen now, you'll see all the majors that are offered in the school. We have English, history, Spanish, things like that. But these aren't just majors. We have hard sciences like biology, chemistry, computer science. Again, we really put an emphasis on hands-on learning in this major. We have theater, mass comm, music. They're just not degrees. They're the type of skills that you get involved in. We really get to teach you those skills, but we want you to do that and use those skills inside of the classroom. So one cool thing at the undergraduate level at Texas Wesleyan, you do get to participate in research. So we'll help you out with professional presentation opportunities. Again, field research at the undergraduate level just really gives you the opportunity, for the right skills to, in the future for your jobs. It'll teach you the right skills for your future. All right, and then next we have the School of Business Administration. This is our most popular school. This school houses accounting, management, marketing, or general business degree. It is our most popular degree, but it does touch on a little bit of everything offered in the School of Business. One cool thing, our School of Business is accredited by AACSB, which is an accreditation held by only 5% of business schools in the world. Also, 100% of our full-time faculty, they hold a PhD in their discipline and conduct active research in the field, and many hold additional certifications. So they're really experts. They're really experts in their fields, and they're really here to help you to prepare you. And then lastly, let's get into our School of Education. Whether you're getting a degree in education or exercise science, the School of Education is all about giving you hands-on experience. Again, we're really big on that and giving you hands-on experience before getting in the real world. You'll graduate from Texas Wesleyan prepared to be a leader in your industry. And on the screen now, you'll see the majors offered through the School of Education. All right, next we're going to go into what will it cost. Just going to talk a little bit about the price of a private university. We are a private university. I'm sure you're wondering about cost and what the cost is. So let's talk a little bit about it.
Oh, we had a question in the chat. Are you going to be sharing slides?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Was I not sharing slides?
No, you just have to hit the share screen button at the bottom in your tray.
Geez.
No problem. No problem.
Yes, that is great.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yes. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, you didn't miss too much at the beginning. It is just some graphics as far as the School of Education and then business administration, kind of what we offer in the School of Arts and Sciences. Just go back on that so you can take a look at it really quick. Again, sorry about that. The School of Business Administration. And then there is our School of Education. And then what will it cost? So again, we're going to talk about the cost of a private university. So on the screen here, hopefully you guys can see it. So tuition and cost is sitting at a little over 29,000. Fees are estimates as well. So a little over 4,000 on that. And books and supplies, again, everything is estimates. So you're looking at about 1,200 for books and supplies. You can always get books cheaper. You can rent them. You can get them from Chegg or wherever it is. But yeah, you can definitely get cheaper stuff. But the total price, kind of what you're going to be looking at, is anywhere between $30,000 to $34,000 per year. But don't be scared of that price, because that is totally not the price you're going to pay, because 100% of our students at Texas Wesleyan do get a scholarship. There's no separate application for our scholarships. They're just automatically awarded to you based on your GPA once you get accepted. So let's get a little bit into those scholarships. All right, so the scholarships, like I said, it is based off GPA. They range from $12,500 all the way up to $17,000 per year. So whatever your GPA range falls, whenever you do get accepted into the university, will automatically be awarded to you. So there, like I said, there's no separate application. It's just automatically awarded to you once you do get accepted. All right, and that's not all. We do have an additional scholarship opportunity that is tied to taking one of our campus tours. So if you would like to attend a campus tour, the link to that will be in the chat. The scholarship, it's called the Smarter You Scholarship. It involves 3 steps to earn it. The first step is to attend a campus tour. The second step is to submit your FAFSA. And the last and final step in order to get this would be to register for your classes, or set up a payment plan and just get on a payment plan to handle your balances. So I'm going to put a link in the chat for you guys so you can take a campus tour if that's something that you guys would want to do. And then so in order to get that scholarship as well, it does have to be completed by July 16th. If that's something that you want to come for in the fall of 2021, it does have to be completed by July 16th. And then if you're coming in spring, would it be 2022? The deadline would be sometime in December. So be on the lookout for that if that is something that you want to take advantage of. And then there is other talent-based scholarships. So on top of all the scholarships that we are giving out, here are some of our other scholarships. So athletics, music, theater, dance, cheer, and also esports. And here's a Texas West tips for you guys. So be sure to fill out your FAFSA if you haven't submitted to Texas Wesleyan. That is something that you would want to do once you do apply. You'll be eligible for additional grants. Grants are monies that you don't have to pay back at all. So the federal grant is up to $6,345. And then there is a tuition equalization grant that is strictly for private universities, and that is up to $5,130. So now let's take a look at an example of cost, kind of putting everything together so you can kind of see how some of our students see their balance in the end. So this student here, tuition and fees for the year, you're looking at $33,408. And this person got their top tier scholarship of $17,000, which means they pretty much have a 4.0. And then they got the Smarter You Scholarship, which adds an additional $1,000. And then they also completed their FAFSA, which gave them the Pell Grant and the Tuition Equalization Grant. So their total award amount was $29,475. So the total out-of-pocket cost without any kind of loans is $3,933 per year. And then if you divide that by 2, since there is 2 semesters in 1 year, you're looking at $1,900 per year. So again, it does sound kind of scary, that private education is 33, but if you take in consideration with the amount of scholarships we're helping you guys out with, it really does help costs or cut down the cost a lot. All right, so now let's say you're sold. Eugene sold you on our esports. I sold you a little bit on our academics here. Let's talk about 2 ways that you can apply. So the first way is to apply through our website, texwest.edu. And then you can apply through through the Apply Texas website. That does go through a third-party website, so it does take a little bit longer to get to us. So those are 2 ways for you guys to apply. And here's a Texas West tip for you guys. There is no application fee or there is no essay. So also no additional scholarship application. Again, it is automatically awarded to you. So once you do get accepted, it's a pretty sweet deal. And so once you applied, we do ask that you contact your current or past schools to have your transcripts sent over to Texas Wesleyan. Our admissions office accepts transcripts by physical mail, electronically delivery. And what we do require for students who do have 24 or more credit hours, we just ask that you submit all your college transcripts in a 2.0 to get accepted as far as GPA. And then if you have less than 24 credit hours, you would need, on top of that, you would just need to submit your high school transcripts for evaluation. All right, so now I would like to go over some visit opportunities and some event opportunities that we have coming up. So you can see for yourself why we say smaller is smarter here at Texas Wesleyan. So we have daily campus visit experiences. You can come on campus, you can take a tour around campus at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. I did put the link in the chat for you guys so you can sign up for that. And then we have a virtual campus visit experience where you can just sit on your couch and you can take a tour, and we'll have one of our tour guides just virtually walk you around campus. And then we have some virtual Transfer Tex West events. These events are open to all majors. Come learn a little bit more about majors, talk to some faculty, talk to some current students. So that's what that event is about. And then we have a Transfer Tuesday info session. So every Tuesday we'll do a presentation similar like this, just get a little bit more in depth to cost breakdown, majors, just anything you want to hear. That's what that event is about. All right, so lastly, do you guys have any questions at all? I am looking at the chat. I don't see we have any questions.
Remember, you can also unmute yourself or turn on your camera if you'd like to ask a question, or you could put it in the chat.
Correct.
May I ask a question?
Yes, for sure.
Like with the other things on this river website, is this, are we gonna evaluate this?
Oh, yes, I'll definitely put the link in the chat for you right now.
Thank you. And this was a good presentation.
What was that?
This was a good presentation.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me, I'm gonna hop in and answer. It's gonna be easier for me to answer with words than typing. But do you see any opportunities for some kind of intercollegiate event or like a North Texas Gaming League to happen? What's tricky sometimes about the esports, what makes esports different than traditional sports in a big way on the collegiate side is that the publishers own the rights to the game. So we would have to get permission to host events if we wanted to go that route. And most of the publishers don't want to give up rights to have for leagues to happen. They're okay with tournaments, but not okay with leagues. So for tournaments, there have been several North Texas only tournaments. Some hosted at the Esports Stadium in Arlington, some hosted at Mavs Gaming facility in Dallas. But for leagues, I don't see that happening anytime soon. But there have been several like pop-up events, and I think that will continue once COVID has passed.
So I did get a question in the chat. Trey asked when and how long do virtual tours take? So they take about 15 minutes long, the virtual tours, and they are held every day. So if you want to take them on Monday, take them on Friday, they're good, as long as it's between Monday through Friday. And then lastly, if you guys do have any questions, you can feel free to give us a call. You can text us, email us, and you can also schedule an appointment, which would be like a personal one-on-one experience. And I'll put that in the link in the chat for that as well. All right, so if you don't have any other questions, thank you guys. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having us.